Welcome back. SuicideFantasyFootball.com 2012. We're now telling you the sleepers you should look at the quarterback position. These are the guys that you're not going to draft early, but you might want to take a flyer on as your backup, and they may end up being your starter.
Number one, I am all chiefed up. I want to get pork chop sideburns and sing my song like I was.
Which, by the way, last year we were all anti-Chief.
No, I was all down on the Chiefs
I know.
this year.
I'm with you, though.
Chiefed up.
I get your Chief love, and I'm not disagreeing with you.
Matt Castle, number one sleeper quarterback, going to put up huge numbers if they keep Dwayne Bowe. There's talk that they're shopping him already. I don't know what that's all about. He's got Baldwin, he's got Bowe, he's got Hillis, he's got Charles, he's got Miyake coming back. I'm telling Moiyaki, whatever. I can't pronounce those names from the Islanders. He is going to be a huge sleeper in fantasy football this year. Number two, Sam Bradford. He was kind of a darling. People were talking about him being a top 10 guy going into last year. He had a tough year, so do a lot of sophomores. Don't worry about it. Sam Bradford's going to put up good, respectable numbers for a fantasy football quarterback.
He did lose a lot of his receivers last year. He was without Amendola most of the year, who was his number one guy.
Sure. And he'll be back, and they drafted some young guys. They're putting some things out there.
Love him.
I love him. Number three, Matt Flynn. I know everybody's going to look at Matt Flynn, and all they're going to see is that big game he had with the Packers at the end. He's not going to be that guy. But they just signed Braylon Edwards. They're looking at doing a bunch of things. I think that he's going to be a viable backup starting the season, especially if you're drafting somebody like Peyton Manning or Ben Roethlisberger, who we just called Butz. If you got somebody like Flynn on your bench, you don't have to worry as much about the downfall there.
He's got the receiving core like 5 years ago that would have been incredible. He's got Sidney Rice, he's got Braylon Edwards, and he's got Kellen Winslow.
And he's got Obamanu.
Wow.
I love that.
And Baldwin. Don't forget about Baldwin.
Number four, Jake Locker. I love Jake Locker. The only reason I got him as number four is because I'm not sure he's going to win the job. They still kind of like Hasselbeck a little. I think Jake Locker is a stud. He's going to be, I said it last year, I'll keep saying it until he retires. He's going to be the best quarterback out of last year's draft. He's going to put up big numbers when he gets in there. He's a winner. Jake Locker is definitely somebody to look out for. And number five, Andrew Luck. I don't like RG3 this year. I think Andrew Luck's going to put up Cam Newton-esque numbers this year coming in. He's going to be the player. They're not going to sit him. Unless he gets hurt, he's going to play all 16 games. He's got Reggie Wayne. He's got some weapons there. I really like Andrew Luck as well.
All right, I'm going with my top five. Starting number one is Matt Schaub, Jim. I don't know why, except injuries, he's fallen down so far in rankings because he's got the receivers there. He's going to be throwing the ball. Even out of the backfield, you got Arian Foster, who's a great pass catcher. So I don't know why people are so down on Schaub. I'm not and pretty high on him. Second is Jay Cutler. I think he's got the weapons now, back with Brandon Marshall. He's got Earl Bennett as his third guy, who's a college kid that he played with for years. Kellen Davis I love. Matt Forte out of the backfield. I just think Jay Cutler, where you can get him is that 10th, 11th, 12th quarterback. To me, if you skip on guys early, the Brees, the Bradys, and the Rodgers, he's a guy you should be targeting. Number three, I got Matt Ryan. He was a guy who I called to be in the top five last year. I was wrong. But he showed progression, and I think with another year under the belt with Julio Jones, Roddy White coming back to form, Matt Ryan's going to put up big numbers in 2012. Fourth, Jim, is a guy who you're calling a bust. Josh Freeman came back to camp 20 pounds later. He's got Vincent Jackson. He's got Dallas Clark, who could have a little bit of a resurgence.
Two old guys who can't play anymore.
I just think Josh Freeman could absolutely be back closer to the form he was in 2010 than 2011. And five, Jim, I'm with you. I've fallen off the RG3 bandwagon, and I am now on the Luck bandwagon. He is going to throw the ball a ton. He's got no choice. He could break Peyton Manning's rookie passing record for most attempts, and I would not be surprised to see it. And that's going to equal yards and points in fantasy football. So there's our top five sleepers you should look at the quarterback position. Tell us what you think. Jim at SuicideFantasySports.com, Eric at SuicideFantasySports.com. Subscribe to our videos below. We'll keep coming back and telling you who you should be looking at all the way through the fantasy football season. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook. We're Suicide Fantasy Football. Twitter, we're SFF Insider. And Monday nights, 8 to 9 o'clock, Fantasy Football Overload on Blog Talk Radio. Instead of scouring 50 websites, go to one place, get all your information, and get it for free.
And win.
See you next week.